dun sa last part nung limits, no, which is yung squeeze theorem or squeeze principle. Okay, so the squeeze principle is used on limit problems where the usual algebraic methods such as factoring, conjugation, algebraic manipulation, and etc. are not effective. However, it requires that you be able to squeeze your problem in between two other simpler functions whose limits are easily computable and equal. The use of the squeeze principle requires accurate analysis, depth algebra skills, and careful use of inequalities. Okay, so assume that functions f, g, and h satisfy now this compound inequality. F of x is in between g of x and h of x, including g of x and h of x. So dito, no, compound inequality. And the limit of g of x as x approaches a and the limit of h of x as x approaches a is equal to L. So if both of the limits, no, are equal kay L, then the limit of the function f of x as x approaches a is equal to L. Okay, so you can see the following theorems, no? Ito po yung magiging basis natin for our squeeze principle. So the limit of sine x over x as x approaches 0 is 1, and the limit of 1 minus cosine x all over x as x approaches 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so for the first example, so we have the limit of sine x over x as x approaches positive infinity. So dun po sa properties ng sine function natin, meron siyang range na -1 and +1, no? Included po sa interval na yon yung -1 and 1, no? Na dalawang naka-bracket siya. So we're going to use that property, no, to have our compound inequality, no, for sine x, no? So sine x is in between -1 and +1, including -1 and +1. So as you can see po, no, we have a denominator, no, sa given function. So x yung denominator natin. So since we are computing, no, for the limit as x goes to infinity, so it is reasonable to assume that x is greater than 0. Okay, so here we need to divide all the components, no, with x, no. So -1 over x, sine x over x, and +1 over x. So after dividing all the components by x, you can get the limit of the left-hand side sa right-hand side natin. So the limit of -1 over x as x approaches positive infinity is equal to 0, as well as the limit of 1 over x as x approaches positive infinity, it is also equal to 0. Since pareho pong 0 yung limit natin, final answer will be, no, limit of sine x over x as x approaches positive infinity is equal to 0. So 0 na po yung ating final answer. Okay, any question po kay example number 1? So dalawa lang yung example natin, isa kay sine tapos isa kay cosine. Okay, if wala pong question, okay, may nag-raise ng hand. Yes po.
Pwede po pa ulit, bakit 0 po yung final answer?
Bakit 0 yung
Final answer po.
final answer? Okay, balikan natin yung limit, no? Yung limit, kukunin mo yung limit ni -1 over x as x approaches infinity. So, 'di ba, diniscuss natin before, limits at infinity, ano yung shortcut? Tatlong shortcut to get the limit. Ano po yung tatlong shortcut?
Kapag yung numerator is greater than the denominator, then
So, dito, ano pong degree ng numerator natin? Meron po bang degree? Anong degree? Numerator.
Wala.
Wala, 0. So, sa denominator, ano pong degree?
1 po.
1. So, 1 is greater than 0, no? So, yung degree ng denominator natin is greater than the degree of your numerator. That's why the limit of the function sa negative 1 over x as x approaches positive infinity ay 0. Ganon din kay limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity. Pareho pong 0. Dahil parehong 0, final answer mo 0 din. Para sa limit ni sin x over x as x approaches positive infinity. Nakuha po ba yung sagot? Nakuha na? Or hindi pa rin? Okay, so hopefully na-gets po, no? Ang ating answer. So yun lang pong susundin, no? Ang unang gagawin, ito, tingnan nyo lang to. Compound inequality. Okay? After ng compound inequality, kunin yung limit ng g of x and h of x, no? And kapag pareho po, yun na agad ang sagot para sa limit ni f of x. Okay? So, dito tayo sa second example. So, ito na yung last before we proceed dun sa derivatives. Okay, so yung given po natin, limit of 2 minus cosine x all over x plus 3 as x approaches positive infinity. Again, yung range nung cosine function natin, negative 1 and 1, no? So parehong bracket, so they are included in your interval. That's why yung compound inequality natin is cosine x is in between negative 1 and positive 1, included si negative 1 and positive 1. So as you can see, dito po sa given natin, no? It is not cosine x, no? Na positive, no? It's not positive. Kundi negative po siya, no? Negative cosine x. That's why you need to multiply all the components, no? By negative 1. Okay? So negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1, cosine x times negative 1, negative cosine x, positive 1 times negative 1, negative 1, no? Since we multiply the negative number, no, we need to reverse our inequality symbol. Kailangan po nating i-switch yung inequality symbol na ginamit. So as you can see, ito na po yung final compound inequality natin. Negative cosine x is in between negative 1 and positive 1, including negative 1 and positive 1. Okay? So, next, you can see that we have a constant 2, no, to our numerator, no? Constant 2 added to negative cosine x in our numerator. That's why you need to add 2, no, to all our components, no? So, we have negative 1 plus 2, positive 1, negative cosine x plus 2, so we have 2 minus cosine x. Then 1 plus 2, we have 3. Okay? So, next part. So, we have a denominator na x plus 3. So, you need to divide all the components by x plus 3. Okay? So, again, we have the following. 1 over x plus 3, 2 minus cosine x all over x plus 3, then 3 over x plus 3. So, now you need to compute the limit, no? Limit of 1 over x plus 3 as x approaches positive infinity, as well as the limit of 3 over x plus 3 as x approaches positive infinity. So, ganun ulit, di ba? Okay. Both limit values po are equal to 0 since the degree of the denominator is greater than the degree of the numerator. So, final answer po natin is 0. So, the limit of 2 minus cosine x all over x plus 3 as x approaches positive infinity is equal to 0. Okay, any question po dito sa number 2 bago tayo mag-proceed sa derivatives? So, ganyan lang po kapag sa squeeze principle or squeeze theorem. Question? Wala. If na-gets po, kindly click yung like reaction. Okay. So, dun tayo sa derivatives. Okay? So, objectives not to define derivative of a function and to find the derivative by increment method or yung tinatawag na four-step rule. Okay, so the process of finding the derivative of a function is called differentiation, and the branch of calculus that deals with this process is called differential calculus. So differentiation is an important mathematical tool in physics, mechanics, economics, and many other disciplines that involve change and motion. So next sem po, kapag nag-physics na kayo, no, gumagamit din ng derivative sa physics. Kaya wag pong kakalimutan, no, ang derivatives. Okay, so let's discuss muna yung derivation, kung paano nakuha yung actual definition ng derivative, no? So first, consider a point Q on the curve y equals f of x that is distinct from point P. Next, compute the slope, no, of the second line through P and Q. So this is the formula for the slope, no? Delta y over delta x, change in y over change in x. So you can see m sub pq is equal to f of x sub 2 minus f of x sub 1 all over delta x. So delta x po is the change in x, no? So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So you need to get the formula, no, for x sub 2. Okay, so x sub 2 transpose, no? Transpose negative x sub 1 to the other side. We have x sub 2 equals x sub 1 plus delta x. And then substitute this formula for x sub 2 dito sa ating f of x sub 2. Okay, so this is our formula, no, for the slope of the second line, f of x sub 1 plus delta x minus f of x sub 1 all over delta x. Next, if we let x sub 2 approach x sub 1, then the point Q will move along the curve and approach point P. So as point Q approaches P, the value of delta x approaches 0, and the second line through P and Q approaches a limiting position. Then we will consider that position to be the position of the tangent line at P. Okay, so this is the curve of your graph, no? As well as our points P and Q. Ito pong green line, yung second line. Yung red line is our tangent line. So as you can see, this is our delta y and our delta x, no? X sub 2, x sub 1. Okay? Then y sub 2, y sub 1. So this is the definition, no? So suppose that x sub 1 is in the domain of the function f, which is the tangent line to the curve y equals f of x at the point P. So it is the line with the equation y minus f of x sub 1 equals m multiplied to the quantity of x minus x sub 1, wherein the slope, no, yung m natin is equal to the limit of f of x sub 1 plus delta x minus f of x sub 1 all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. So provided that the limit exists and point P is the point of tangency. Okay, so ito na yung main definition ng ating derivative. Okay, so the derivative of y at point P, no, on the curve is equal to the slope of the tangent line at P. Thus, the derivative of the function f given by y equals f of x with respect to x at any x in its domain is defined as dy over dx, no? Derivative of y with respect to x is equal to the limit of delta y over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Okay? So, yung delta y natin, again, f of x plus delta x minus f of x. Again, provided that the limit exists. So, ito po yung main definition ng ating derivative, no? Derivative of y with respect to x, no? Yung slope ng tangent line at point P. Okay, so other notations for the derivative of the function are the following, no? So d sub xy, d sub x f of x, y prime, f prime of x, and d over dx f